Here's something that I see a little more than I would want to, and it's actually something that is missing. That's right, the homeowner here or the property owner isn't taking care of their house, and they're missing the downspout to the gutter. That's no big deal, right? The water will eventually hit the ground and drain off of the property. Now, that might be an acceptable answer for someone else, but realistically, it shouldn't be acceptable to you. You can see the black arrow here is pointing to some mold that is on the wall. Now, there's a good chance, you're going to find this hard to believe, but there's a good chance that this mold could have been growing before the pipe, the downspout, actually was removed. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you're in a certain area where you're getting moisture behind the downspout, the gutter downspouts, then the downspouts will actually provide shade for these areas, and a nice moist spot after a while is going to attract mold. However, we're going to go with the fact that every day the roof gets wet, water leaks into the gutter, down the downspout, and provides a nice steady supply of moisture for the brick, which of course attracts the mold or the moss, whatever this is. Whatever it is, we don't want it on our house. We want our bricks to look like bricks. We do not want some type of a fungus growing on them. Now, we've got another problem. If you notice, the water that's draining here, it's not draining off of the property. This downspout, I'm sure, even when it was hooked up properly, was just draining onto these brick pavers, which you can see we've got plenty of grass growing on the side where the water would be draining down, seeping into the bricks, into the cracks in between the bricks, and of course any grass seeds or weed seeds that get found in between the cracks will start to grow eventually. On the other side of the arrow, in the opposite direction, you don't see a lot of grass. That's probably because it isn't getting a lot of moisture or a steady supply of moisture. So something like this should be fixed, and I don't just mean fixing it. This pipe should run into a drain that drains into the street, if that's possible. If it's not possible, it's going to be too much work, then you're just going to have to do a little more maintenance in these areas. But the downspout should run all the way down, almost to the ground, and then turn, and if possible try to get this water at least 1 or 2 feet away from the house before it actually drains onto the ground, if possible. You don't want to create a trip hazard by having a pipe on there on the ground either, so use a little common sense here.